Well, that was a funky way to start a video, but hello, my friends. Welcome back to another adventure here. I am here in Pomeroy today, checking out the town here. The downtown here is pretty cool looking. A lot of old historical buildings here. Beautiful, beautiful downtown stretch here. And we've got like this little, I'm standing like in this little gazebo area here with the welcome sign, which says established in 1886. So this town is a pretty old town here, and has a lot of cool old brick buildings to check out. So that's what we're gonna do today here. Hope everybody's having a good weekend. Happy Sunday to you all, and hope you enjoy this leisurely stroll here through Pomeroy. So let's go ahead and take a look at this little area in here first off, because there's some cool murals in here. So it's just got a little covered gazebo area. It just says "Welcome to Pomeroy," which I took the shot for the thumbnail here. I drove by this area looking for a good place to take a thumbnail in. This looked like a pretty good spot. But this is a pretty neat little hangout spot here in Pomeroy. Has a neat mural of Pomeroy Mercantile on it. Pretty neat. You got lots of bench seating here. Just a neat little area. They've got bathrooms back here. Wish I would have saw that earlier before I went way over and found a park. This is neat. It looks like this used to be like an old building that burned down. That's what we're standing in the middle of right now. Decently sized building too. We've got a map of Pomeroy here. You can see this is a sizable community here, and you see we are right there, right? Pretty much smack dab in the center of Pomeroy here. We've got some cool buildings here. Talking about the Denny Ashby Library, which we'll wander around and look at these things. The majestic courthouse. Hello, Kelly. How are you? We've got the majestic courthouse, which you'll see when we walk down the boulevard here. And there's also Pataha, which is like the next town over, which has got some cool, it's more of kind of an abandoned field type of town there. It's got a lot of older style, really old buildings just kind of sitting along there. Not very much to Pataha, but kind of a cool place to drive through when you come up in here. The city features a pool, which I drove by the pool. It's kind of in a neat little area. It's got a beautiful park way down yonder on the other side of town. I think it's on this side. There's a golf course over here. The city park's right there. If I knew this bathroom was over here, I would have went to the bathroom here instead of down there at the city park. But uh, just kind of random, just kind of checking, looking around. Was just driving around and I needed to use the restroom, and that's where I ended up going. I know you probably didn't need to know that, but hey. Pretty cool looking building back here. It looks like this is the Sealy Opera House stage door back in the alley here. If you missed the beginning here, I'm standing right in the middle of this little cool area. They made like a center of town hangout spot here in the inside of where a building once stood. The building must have burned down at some point in the past. If you are from Garfield, feel free to chime in here with any info you might have of what this building used to be. I'm guessing that by the mural up there that this might have been where Pomeroy's mercantile was. Anyways, we'll go look around here. Back behind here, there's a railroad depot, which we'll check out later when we kind of wander around town. I'll give you a good feel of how this town is here. Pomeroy is really, really far south in southern Washington here. It is about, I would say, a couple like 2.5 hours maybe south of Spokane. And we're on Highway 12 here. Highway 12 runs through town. We are in Garfield County. And this is the veterans that were from Garfield County here. They have a little memorial for them here. Pretty neat. You can tell this used to be an old building here. You can see kind of footings and things here. If it wasn't obvious by the front facade there of a building. But really cool that they turned this kind of into a little hangout spot. Well, we'll start our journey here. You guys can see the courthouse right there. We pop right out here onto the historic downtown front area here. They got some cool like neon signs here too. This is probably one of the only neon signs here in town. I love that they actually tried to make it feel like 1950s style building here. This is what you probably would have seen back in the 50s, is all that stuff there. This is Pomeroy East Washingtonian newspaper printing and design. Cool. Hey, look at that. It's a Radio Shack dealer here. Don't know if they are still a Radio Shack dealer. Looks like they've got a lot of souvenirs for Pomeroy here. Trying to look up here to see if we've got any data on when the buildings were built. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like it. Looks like there must have been an entrance here at some point. I don't know. Looks kind of interesting. Hey there, Scutters. Radio Shack dealer. Ah. Pomeroy Pharmacy. It is a Radio Shack dealer. Cool. Of course, Sunday, everything's kind of closed. So, as usual, we will be just kind of walking down the boulevard and checking the buildings out here. That is a neat building there. They've got like a glass in the center, that paned glass. Pretty neat. Colored front of the building there. Yeah, pretty cool. Patriotic displays, yeah. Me personally, love the brick buildings. Looks like they've got kind of a mixed front here. I'm sure this is probably just kind of a wood facade over the brick. Well, we've got our first date on these buildings here, 1900. So I'm guessing this block itself was probably built in 1900. This looks like a sporting. It's got a whole bunch of stuff here: hardware, sporting goods, collectibles, giftware, fine and unique merchandise. Myers. According to the door, this has been here since 1901. I really enjoy how they set up these windows with all of the cool, like some old stuff in the window and some newer, like gazebo looking stuff and all sorts of cool decorations. So right here we've got a wide shot of the courthouse. Beautiful, beautiful brick building there. Garfield County Courthouse. It was established 1901. We'll continue walking up the boulevard on this side. Oh, look at that. What does that say on the top? Now I'm slightly interested here. Grocery department? Yeah, it says grocery department. So this was a huge store, evidently. They do have a cool sign here. It says Norge. Seems like my gimbal is a little out of balance here. That might be better. Yeah, another like neon sign there that doesn't look like it's, I don't know, it looks like it's got half the neon left, at least on this side. Interesting. I like the coloration on this brick here. Kind of like a creamy color. So I wonder if this grocery store was like on the back side of here. So they had two separate entrances to Myers. The grocery store would have been in the back side of here, and the front was like a regular mercantile. Interesting. If you know, let me know if any of you guys from Pomeroy watched this. Pretty cool. It's just stuff like that just grabs my attention, and I'm like, whoa, what's that? Cool. Little brick pavers in the middle there. Pretty neat. This is a more modern building here. USDA building. I'm sure this area probably had a building in it at one point. A lot of times in these older towns, you'll find the gaps in these buildings used to be where old ones used to stand before a fire. A lot of these towns, fire was really common because of the architectural standards back then, back in the day. Look at that. That is cool. I've seen this once before, and it was like a theater. In one of our previous videos, they had kind of a similar thing here. But nothing to kind of tell you anything. Wait, there is. I just didn't see it until now. Historic property. This is the Wenning Building, 1901/1945. This was a one-story. The one-story Wenning Building has a raised front parapet and a stepped side west parapet, a spandrel covered with stucco finish, a recessed panel, a slightly overhanging header above the storefront windows. If that makes any sense to you guys. The raised plaster on the west side of the front elevation is made of brick, constructed by Herman Wenning shortly after the 1900 fire. So yes, there was a fire here in 1900 which destroyed some of the buildings. The building was occupied by a restaurant and a bakery for many years. Wenning sold the business to S.L. Nicholson circa 1912, who continued to use it as a bakery and cafe. The Villa Cafe and Sanitary Bakery were occupants of the building prior to 1945. Al Oberland purchased the building for his appliance and furniture store. The business was sold to Lauren Porter, who continued to operate Home Mart. In 2007, it became Venda's Antique Mall and a private residence. Cool. This next door looks really cool, but pretty interesting little place here. Look at all they've got some old like cartons from stuff. Look at that. This one says Spencer 46. Barden 58. Huh. Interesting. Those are pretty old. This building is neat. Look at this. The brick here. Oh. Just love the style of this building here. The way the bricks were etched out. That had to take some time. It's really, really ornate. So cool. And it's the Curiosity Shop. That's definitely attention grabbing. Look at the way that the windows are kind of curved in here. That is cool. Hey, look, they've got a leg lamp. That is cool. Look at all the cool little lanterns and old stuff here. Wow, some fine china in there. That bowl. That bowl is pretty cool looking. Look at that. Wow. Definitely curious. Hey, I just noticed this. There's a bell. It says 30 on it. I wonder if that's when it was made. Quite interesting. Just this building is outstanding. I'll show you guys a further away shot when we cross the street onto the other side. Man, would love to have more information on this building when it was made and stuff. Because man, that had to have been some work to craft this building. More of a standard entry style on this half of this building here. Whoo, blue. That is cool. Look at all the ornate little details on this upper half of this building. Wow. Looks like it stretches over into the next building over there. They must have been designed by the same person. Just a different color. Wonder if they used to be the same color at one point. Pretty cool little spot there. Looks like it used to be an antique store. This looks like it maybe used to be, there used to be an entrance here, but not anymore. Looks like they just put some cement over this front. But the architecture on the outside got some New Orleans style little fleur-de-lises up there. Pretty neat. Look at that. That tin is pretty old. Or the metal roofing on this. It's supposed to be around 1900s on all these buildings. Unfortunately, we don't have any dates. Ooh, look at that. Well, we do have another historic property sign here. Look at all this cool. There's a mobile oil sign back here. Look at that cat. They got a like pipe cleaner cat. Some old cars. I wonder if those are like the little downhill cars, people like go-kart things that people used to use back in the day, like unpowered downhill cars. Pretty neat. Looks like some Ford. They're Ford. I think those are the sides of the front end there. Press-stone antifreeze in a container there. Wow. Type P standard. Retail ceiling price $3.75 a gallon. That's crazy. Hey, I've got some toys that look like this. I don't even know where. I have an old International tractor that kind of looks like that. I have no clue where it is, but I remember having one that looked like that. Look at that. What is that? Revigator? Anybody know what this is for? Or what this is? The Radium Ore Revigator Company? Revigator Building, San Francisco, California. What is it? Fill jar every night. Use hydrant or any good water. Drink freely when thirsty and upon arising and returning, average 6 or more glasses a day. Scrub with stiff brush and scald monthly. Huh. That's interesting. So we've got some information on the building here. Circa 1908, E.M. Roush Implements and Hardware. By 1896, the Dakota Livery Stable stood on this site. The current structure was most likely built in 1908 by E.M. Roush for use as a hardware and implements store. The one-story brick building has a slightly corbelled cornice and raised pilasters separating the bays. In the late 1920s or early 1930s, the building was remodeled for use as McGrath's service station. The corner of the building was open to accommodate an automobile drive-through. This drive-through was later enclosed with concrete blocks windows, and a paneled garage door to create more interior space. An original storefront bay is on the front side. The bay has a corbelled cornice brick plasters, large wooden storefront building or storefront windows, and paneled bulkhead. I need a better storefront windows, transoms, and a paneled front of the building. And in the 50s, later, Belknap Chevrolet occupied this building. And I can't really see what the rest of it says there. It's kind of blocked. But pretty interesting. Lots of cool stuff. Shell Retinax A. Ward's tube repair kit. Wow. Got Shell Narita grease, number 2. Interesting. There's some Shell X100 motor oil. Wow. This is cool. Got a cool little spot there with some relics. Pretty awesome. So you can kind of see, you can kind of get the feel for a service station here. They've got, it was full of lights, as Captain Picard would say. You can tell this was a service station, hooker headers. So Hill's Body Repair, and you can see there is a bay door to get in there. 4 more lights on this side for a total of 8 lights. Quite interesting. Now we're on the corner of 9th Street here. You can see down the boulevard. There is a little park right there, right on the corner. There's some covered area and some benches to sit on. We're in front of the Pomeroy grain growers building here now. Got some prices. Not sure what these products are, but they're $6.45. Anybody knows, let me know what that means. This looks to be a more modern building here, probably 40s, 50s. On this one. Coming up to like an open area here. Sure, a building once used to stand here. You can see there is evidence. Looks like there's some fittings and stuff there off the edge of that building. Probably once was a fire in here. We know that one did happen in 1900, which destroyed a lot of buildings in here. There's an arrow pointing back towards the back, so kind of a curiosity there. Kraus Machine Shop since 1882. Another beautiful brick building. Very large building too. So Kraus's does take up quite a bit of space here. Looks like they sell batteries here. Kind of like an automotive shop. I guess it is kind of an automotive shop because it's a machine shop, Dave. Got Fruz Repair here. Looks like it repairs tractors. Got a nice wide open bay there. You could fit one in there for sure. Really love this front facade on this building. And it looks like it's for sale. Check that out. That's the beautiful front of the building here. And it used to be antiques and stuff. I love how they made this look kind of old western-y style with the old weather boards. Pretty cool. Looks like we've got another auto repair shop here. Built Ford Tough and Mopar Country. Hey, we do have an old vehicle in here. A Savoy, Plymouth Savoy. It is a 55 by the little tag on the window. You guys can't really see very good. Try to get a little better. That is cool. There's a lot of relics in here, old car pictures and all sorts of stuff. Old dealership here. Pretty cool. It does say that this is Fisher's Auto Repair. Pretty neat. We're getting down towards the end of the historic block here. We're gonna probably have to cross here. Well, let's check out this last building, see if there's anything cool over here. This looks like a later building here. That is pretty cool though. Look at that. That's very creative. Well, down further over here, we'd have to drive to it, but there's some cool stuff. There's like a cool, really old, some old like service station relics way down yonder on the end of town over here. But I'm gonna walk back. We'll go visit that later on here. But yeah, this is pretty much the end of downtown here. We'll go walk back across. We'll cross the street here and go down the other side of the block and check it out. We'll get some far away shots of the side of the street we were walking on, and we'll look at the other buildings across on the other side. Oh wow, I didn't see the back side of this building there. That's a really old door down there. Pretty cool. Looks like we got a couple blocks up the hill here. People's houses kind of nestled up above. Yeah, that is such a cool downtown here. We got Garfield County's ambulance there. And we are right in front of the fire department. You guys can see Krause's building there and the antique stuff and the old car body shop over here. There's the older part of the fire department's building here. Looks like they built a new one right next to it. City County Fire Department. A door within a door. That's cool. Garfield's new fire department building. There's the grain growers building on the opposite side there. Looks kind of like an old service station building here. Looks like a later building. We do have Story's Tire Factory here. There's an old Chevy, 70 Chevy there. Now you guys can see the opposite side of the street here, far away. There is a bell going off. It is 6 o'clock. Dry cleaners building. Hey, look, there's still some shirts hung up here. This was Belknap Insurance, 1949. So this, constructed in 1949, the one-story concrete building has a sloped roof with a single row of corbelling capping the parapet and a Roman brick bulkhead. By 1896, a printing business was on this site. A brick building housed Herman Scott's combine and tractor supply business. The original brick structure was replaced in 1949 by the current concrete building and was used by Belknap and Oliver insurance offices, Port District office, and the Pomeroy Chamber of Commerce. So this actually has a little thing. It says, talks about the porcelain signs. Porcelain neon signs like this once used to be found on every street and highway across the USA. Signs like this one were produced in the 1920s and 30s and 40s. They are a very special American art form that pretty much vanished after World War II. As the buildings on Main Street and along the highways changed hands and were repurposed, these signs slowly disappeared from view. Most were lost forever. This dry cleaner sign is from the mid-1930s. It is porcelain enamel. The neon tubes are aqua. It hangs here for your enjoyment. So, talking about this right here. That is cool. So it also says Pomeroy City Walk is a work in progress. Cooperation between private property owners and the private collection of David Webb and the Lost Highway Museum. Please look for other signs to appear on this lost highway. A special thanks to Jim and Kenny Story for displaying this sign. That is cool. Here's where the Garfield's Food Bank is, in this little building. Wow. Here's a faraway shot of that beautiful, beautiful brick building there across the way. This whole street, so cool, guys. Man, somebody painted this orange. I like them. The bell's still chiming like a gong. Interesting. I don't know where the chiming music is coming from, but it's kind of cool. I don't know if you guys can hear it. This looks like it was a little restaurant at one point. It's for sale now. Pretty cool little place. Ooh. A little more southwesty vibe here. Mall on Main. It looks like there's an underground here. At least down underneath of there. Cool. Little antique shop here. This building is quite neat. Wow. Gates Insurance. I wonder if this is another one of those old neons. That is quite old. I don't know if that still works, but cool to see. This building is quite neat too. Oh, we're right at the corner and there's a bank here. See? Night Depository. I don't think there's a bank here now, but there is like a community trunk and gift place here. Really cool old antiques stuff here. Got some old school stuff here. Here's where the kiddies would have sat on their desk. Sat at their desk, not on their desk. Well, they probably sat on their desk too, but you know. Wow. Now we're back at the courthouse here. Here's what this building has. The community trunk, Suite 2, the community trunk, and Suite 3, rooted transformations. Chard Building and Associates. Wow, this downtown is so cool. Man, pretty awesome. Another military memorial for the Civil War. (1861 to 1865) it says on that. The courthouse itself is really beautiful. Really similar to the one in that we visited not too long ago live. I can't even remember. I've done so many things now in the past like month or two. Hard to remember what I'm doing. But wow, look at this, guys. So cool. It is quite the warm day out here. It is about 90 degrees. It doesn't feel actually that bad. I am sweating though, so this is just such a beautiful area. Man, gotta love these old towns. So cool. Hey, look, there's another neon sign. Pebbly Super Test ice cream. Oh, look at that. Another pretty ornate building here. The Sassy Spur Barbershop. Look at this one. This one's got some stained glass here. Blue Mountain Artisans Guild. "250 years of art in America." There's a guy riding out a storm over there in a really small boat. Pretty cool. Again, gotta love these old brick buildings, man. So cool. Another old building here. Like some of these have the signs on them, the historical signs on them. Some of them don't. There's a good shot of this little area here. Big building. Must be like a home farm crop loan place, probably. I don't know. Hey, there's the bank. We're at the bank. Of course, this looks like a newer building. You can see whatever was here burned down. You can see by the facade up there. Wow, look at that building. This looks like this is where the senior center is. Beautiful, beautiful, like bluish gray building, man. The one over here on this side. That one's got a ladder from the second floor going up past the third floor to the top. 3-story building. I wonder if this used to be the hotel. And then this building over here on the corner. Wow. Man, all these buildings are just so cool. Crazy. This entrance has got like lions, little lions' heads there. I think that's what those are. Pretty neat. Just wow. leaning so far backwards to see the top of this. So cool. This looks like a newer building. You can see kind of like the newish buildings like mixed in between these guys. This looks like they had a Firestone sign on this building at one point. It is a farm and home supply, at least, building here. Yeah, it is a farm supply building still. Wow. I got a tractor. A coyote. Yep, I was right. It is Hotel Revere. That is the one over there on the corner. Man, it's downtown. So cool. Looks like we have made our way down to the other end here. Still got some older buildings here on this end. Looks like some apartments there. Garfield County title. And it looks like that might have been where the VFW used to be at. They've got an old neon sign there. Garfield County's hospital here, or Garfield County Hospital District here. Here in Pomeroy. So there is a hospital here. And there is a small little gas station at this end of town. There's some beautiful, like, old houses scattered throughout town here. Really neat. I've driven around a little bit around town before I started the live and seen a bunch of stuff. So we'll walk across the street again and head back to the car, and we'll go wander around town. I'll show you the railroad depot. We might be able to walk down to it, and then we'll wander around town and look at stuff. There's a bunch of cool stuff here that we haven't seen yet. It's so cool that somebody had all of these neon signs. That one looks like it might still work. It's got some new stuff mixed with some old stuff on there. You can see this looks like it used to be a car lot too, right there, according to the mural on the side of the building. We could see that That building was built in 1915, so it was built after the fire. That's the Parlette building there, the one with the Tractor Supply place. Here's where they put all of their tractors right here. Check that little guy out. Wow. Oh, we've got there's the temperature, guys. I wasn't lying when I said it was 90. It's an old GMC truck there. 6,000 guy with the flatbed. Now we're up along this, where the hotel is here. Wow. Cool buildings, man. Castle Moyle. It's like a bookstore. Lots of books. And of course, history of the American presidency right there. Oh, I didn't see that one. Oh, that's where the opera house is right there. Let's walk down here. That's a cool looking building. The museum is right down here too also. And of course it's closed because it's Sunday. Wow. That is cool. Looks kind of like a stockade building. You know, old like the barracks style building. It's kind of what that looks like. That's kind of an interesting style. We got some more old neon signs down here. The Fun Center. They should have one for the Opera House, man. I think we'll try not to wander around when people are coming down the road. There's a look at the Fun Center sign. Electrical Products Corporation. Man, let's go across the street now. It looks like this might have some information about this on it. All right. Architect Edwin H. Houghton, designer of the Seeley Theater, this is what this is, was recognized as a leading theater designer in the Northwest. He gained his training by working with his uncles and brother during the 1870s. He immigrated from Hampshire, England in the mid-1880s and settled in mid-Texas. After trying to farm for 4 years, he moved to Pasadena, California, and again worked as an architect. In 1889, it is noted that he moved to Seattle and set up a partnership that lasted 2 years with architect Charles W. Saunders. When the economy improved after the discovery of gold in the Klondike in 1887, he emerged as a prominent designer in the profession. He developed a working relationship with John Court, who created a regional booking association called the Northwest Theatrical Association. Court had him design Seattle's Grand Opera House. He also did the Moore Theater and the Majestic, along with the Spokane Theater, Beck's Theater, Sutton's Grand Opera, and theaters in Boise, Salt Lake City, and Chicago. Most of the theaters he designed have been destroyed. In 1914, he designed the Clemmer Theater in Spokane, which is now the Met Opera House in Spokane. The Seeley Theater and Opera House is one of a few of his buildings still standing. So that's cool. The new Seeley, estimated, built in 1913. Still kind of got old entrance here. Stage electrical completion 2025, 2026. They're doing some improvements in here. Banisters, railing, and orchestra pit is supposed to be done too. Last year and this year. Cool. The Actor's Trunk, Act 2. Interesting. This door doesn't have anything on it. There's the backside of Hotel Revere over here. Wow. Pretty cool. Let's get a shot of the Seeley Theater again. Yeah, so this is only one of a few of his buildings that he built left. Interesting. There's a 49 Club sign here and a Greyhound. And there's also like a Dick Herm Stockyard sign here. Dang, there must have been a lot more buildings here at one point in time. See, a lot of them burned down in the early days. So this says Greyhound, so I wonder if this used to be a Greyhound bus station here. And there's a wash. They planted a plant in the Savage washer and dryer. Look at that. That's crazy. So here's the museum here. So we are now entering Garfield County over the historic trail traversed by the explorers Lewis and Clark on their return from the mouth of the Columbia, May 4th, 1806. So we can read some more about the Lewis and Clark expedition here. off the side of the museum. And then we'll walk down to the train depot there and check that out. Three Forks Indian Trails. On May 3rd, 1806, the Lewis and Clark expedition camped at a grove of cottonwoods approximately 100 yards south of here, after a disagreeable journey of 28 miles up Pataha Creek. Supper that night consisted of scant rations of dried meat and dog. What? Questionable dinner there. A hospitable Nez Perce chief, Bighorn Weah Kunut, had come to meet them with assurance they would find provisions at a Nez Perce camp near the Snake River the next day. The next morning, the explorers followed the road over the plains, a branch of the Indian Trail. They had followed up the creek. This east branch can still be seen on the hill across from the highway. The southerly branch, which went towards the Blue Mountains, is visible on the hillside across the valley. Interesting. They've got a place that's marked as a fallout shelter there. So I believe that we're pretty much near one of the old railroads that used to come through here. I don't remember which one it is, but we have evidence here being that the station is still here. It's one of the churches here in town. Cool brick styled building there. Looks kind of like a slightly farm style there, with the way the roof is shaped on the one side there. We can see the back side of some of the buildings on Main. Pretty neat. Pomeroy Depot, elevation 1850. I want to say that this was OWRN. Looks like this was or is a law office now. There's the loading dock so the tracks must have been right here at one point. And there's the little park I was telling you guys about earlier. This is now a dental clinic here in the train depot. You guys can see the sign, Pomeroy. The south of Washington here is usually Union Pacific Territory, or the OWRN, which I'm pretty sure that this is what this depot is. Don't quote me on it, but just looking at the styling and everything, it kind of reminds me of a Union Pacific depot, one of their old ones. Someone from the historical place would know, but they don't have a placard anywhere on this building, it looks like, to tell you what this depot actually used to be, which railroad. We're gonna walk back up here, back to the car, and we'll go drive around and check out some cool stuff that I had found on the way in here. That courthouse is awesome, I tell you what. This adventure today was just kind of a spur of the moment, on a whim type thing. I couldn't figure out where I wanted to go today, so I just kind of drove and drove, and now I'm here. And I thought about it when I was heading this direction. I said, this is probably a good one to show everybody, because this has got some cool stuff down here. So awesome, guys. So we'll get back in the car here, and I'll show you some of the things that I found around town here. It's also a good chance for me to get something to drink here. I'm getting kind of thirsty. Okay, I'm going to leave you guys up on the roof here for a moment while I get a drink. Just get me some soda. Oh, don't go away, guys. We got some more to do. Okay. You're going to be with me for a little bit here as I get squared away. Driving the car, and it's manual, so I gotta do everything manually, and I don't have a companion today, so this is just me by myself doing things, doing the adventuring. But we should be okay here for a minute. Whew. That AC feels nice, man. Of course it did. Hold on, guys. Wouldn't be an adventure without something going wrong with my gimbal. Come on. Yeah. Okay. You guys, flip you guys back around here. So we're going back east on the main drag here, Highway 12. There's a cool spot up here. It's got some neat, like, old roadside attraction stuff. If you guys have browsed Facebook, you've probably come across some stuff like roadside attraction stuff here in Pomeroy. I'm sure I get it all the time where random stuff pops up, and yeah, I've seen stuff for Pomeroy a bit on Facebook. So, but this is kind of a popular attraction in this area down here. You can see gas is $4.84 down here. yeah, this is actually a decently sizable town here. There is a Napa here. We just passed it. So our little roadside attraction piece is like right here. Let me fix this. There we go. All right, so we'll get out here. So we got all this stuff here. The muffler man, we've got a tire girl. Got an old neon gas sign here too. And this is like where all the neon signs are too. That. Got an old International truck here. And another sign over here that says Industrial Bag Company. I don't know if you guys can see it. The tire girl. And I think he's supposed to be the muffler man. It looks like that neon sign's on actually right now. Just looking at it. Some old service station stuff in here. Got an old car in here too. An old Oldsmobile. Check that out. Bunch of gas station stuff here. Pretty cool. There's a dog there. I don't know if you guys know what that's from. Let me know. It's got quite the collection here of cool stuff, man. It's got old signs, like service station signs. There's a Vollinger real estate insurance sign way down there. They got Standard Lumber Company since 1907. There's a Paint Flat Looks sign down there. Got Fiat Service, Authorized Buick Service, Hudson Authorized Service, Cardui has helped women for 50 years. Dutch Boy Paints. You got like an old little kid's toy there. Looks like it might actually be like a little go-kart type thing. He's got Sherwin Paints old sign there. Lie on. Let lie on. Guard your goods. Sells shoes. Wow. And then we got the Industrial Bag Company neon sign here. We'll get a shot that's not in the sun, not on the sun side here. Really neat. There goes old Walmart going by. I would be stupid to not pass this up, So we're gonna walk across the street. We'll try not to get run over. Got some old fire trucks in here. Skagit County number 19 fire engine. That's cool. Check out that old delivery van here. Dodge delivery van. Another truck right there. Not sure what that is. It says Diamond T on the front. John C. Junker Real Estate Insurance. Well, he's got an old Chrysler sitting here. Some more old trucks there. He's got a guy riding on a horse. He's got a Skipper's neon sign way back there. That is cool. This guy's got a lot of stuff. All sorts of neon signs here. Hartbauer Auto Parts Company, GE Appliances, Bendix, Automatic Laundry, or Home Laundry. Man, so cool. All these old cars, man. Got some Dodges, a Chrysler. I'm not sure what this one is here, but it's got like a camper on it. The camper is quite interesting. That is, it's like they put a camper over top of a little car. I guess that's what the cars used to kind of be like back then. Man, another Plymouth bait and tackle sign here. Man, Animus Mountain Lodge. Well, that's a long ways from home. There's like another delivery van way back there too. Man, it's all sorts of cool stuff. So there's another Skipper's sign. Of course, there looks like there's a car actually for sale over here. This guy wants $2,200 for this. An old VW. it's like it's a two-door. Yeah, it's a two-door. That's interesting. That's a neat looking car. Definitely, for sure. And yeah, the neon sign there, the gas sign's on. You guys can see that from a distance now. So cool. Lots of cool stuff, man. Pomeroy is definitely an experience, guys. You should totally come down here and check it out. I definitely enjoyed this. Enjoyed exploring with you guys today. I hope you guys enjoyed it too, as much as I did. This was cool, man. A really cool experience today. The next order of business is to not get ran over walking back to the car. Let's look. I think we're far enough away. There is somebody coming, but we're good. I think I might end it here. We've been going for almost 2 hours now. An hour 42 minutes. Well, guys, I hope you enjoyed the adventure today as much as I did. This was pretty fun. Definitely a cool place to come check out. If you're ever down here, down south in Washington, definitely come check this place out. This is about, I'd say probably an hour away from Lewiston, Idaho. Lewiston, Clarkston area. So not too far of a drive from there if you're local to that area. But anyways, as always, my friends, adventure on, and I'll see you somewhere out here in the next one. Thanks for enjoying the live stream. Thanks for hanging out with me today. Thanks for coming along and enjoying the adventure, my friends. I'll see you guys next time. Keep her tuned in here. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed yet, man. I'm getting pretty close to 1,000. We're almost there. Yeah. And I'll see you out here. Adventure on, my friends.